What's up? It's Juicebeats, back again with another race video. And this one is the Music City Crit Series race number 8. And welcome to the Nashville Local Cycling Group Ride Race. And I say that because there are 9 Nashville Local Cycling racers in this race, just in the Cat 3 category. So lots of racers. I believe there are 4 or 5 more in the Cat 4 in this race as well. So that's why I said this is a Nashville Local Cycling Group Ride race. There is also, I believe, an undercover Nashville Local Cycling guy. He said after the race that he just didn't have his kit yet. So a lot of guys on that Nashville Local Cycling team in this race, and that's what we got to compete with in this one. So it's very tough. Obviously, going into the race, you know that it's a team sport, and if you have a team that size in a race, it's very tough to navigate and be able to take over or do anything that you want to do in this race. They're going to pretty much control the entire tempo. Any sort of breakaway attempts are going to be brought back pretty easily in this race. So very tough to navigate with this many guys on the same team. We are going around the 180 degree turn in this one. So that is a little bit of an equalizer in this race. So it does help out a little bit, but yeah, overcoming that many guys in a race is going to be tough. Just some stats for this race. I averaged 25.2 miles per hour, 350 watt average, going around that 180 degree turn. I think having to spike the watts a little bit ups that average a bit more. 328 normalized and a 1358 max for this race. So we've already gone around one lap here, and you can see a lot of those red shirts out there. We've got a guy out front pushing a little bit hard here, but I'm not sure if I don't think he gets away at this point. It's been a while since I've actually been able to look at the footage and stuff, so I'm looking at it as you guys are looking at it, basically. So I'm recording as I'm looking at it at this time. So I'm trying to remember some of the stuff that happened in this race, but yeah. I usually try to glance over it and kind of go through different points and try to make sure that I'm hitting the big things that happened in this race. But what I remember in this race was there were just a lot of Nashville Local Cycling guys. I remember doing pretty well in this race. You know, I stuck in there. I had a really good time navigating the field, and I don't think things got away from me too much in this race. I did a pretty good job of drafting and doing a good job coming around the curve here, or the 180 degree turn. I remember, yeah, I took it with some good speed, and I was able to keep it pretty smooth throughout the entire race in this one. So yeah, that's what I remember about this one here. So I guess we'll be surprised at some of the other things that go on here in just a minute. But I remember one thing that I was thinking about throughout this race, since there were so many Nashville Local Cycling guys, that I did not want them to get away, basically. So my thinking in this race was make sure they are not getting away out front, make sure they are you know, not getting away too far. So any sort of attack from them, I needed to respond to. So I'm watching out here, and you know, obviously I can't see behind me, but you can see that there's some guys coming up on the side here, and there we go. There's an attack on the outside by the Nashville Local Cycling, and I'm not in great position to be able to respond to that because I'm sitting behind some guys and I'm getting swarmed around the sides here. So I'm not able to quickly respond to that like I wanted to or needed to, I guess, at that point. So I'm kind of right now letting the rest of the field catch up to the flyer there off the front. And I think it works out pretty well here. He's got a little bit of a lead, And I think, yeah, going around this turn, we're gonna kind of catch up to him here. So didn't get away too far. He put a good dig in there, but he's not gonna get away at this point. And I think, most of the rest of the field, knowing that the Nashville Local Cycling had so many team members in it, that they were all motivated as well, not to let things get out of hand and go out, get away from us at this point. So skipping forward just a bit here, going around this 180-degree turn here, and I'm keeping an eye on my wattage here. So that was a really good turn for me. I didn't really spike all the way up to 1,000. Got over 900, but that was a much better spike for me. And then we are fanning out all over the course at this point. So yeah, what are we doing here? I'm checking out to see, it looks like there was an attack up the front there, and because of the fan out, everybody's all over the course. It's kind of hard to respond to that. So definitely I'm thinking about, I need to be in a much better position than I am at the moment so that I can respond to those, because being closer to the back, it's very tough, and the speed at the front is going to be different than what it is at the back there. So gonna make sure that I'm staying good on a wheel here, and I've got to be up closer here so that I'm conserving a lot more energy throughout this race. So I need to get up here, and I believe, yeah, guys kind of falling off here a little bit, so I need to get around and get up closer to the rest of the peloton here. Let's see how I take this 180-degree turn here, because that kind of determines whether or not I'm going to be able to keep up here. So pretty good turn there. Did spike it over 1,000 though, but still fairly smooth, and I'm not getting left behind there. But that's what you want to do on that 180-degree turn. You want to be smooth, and you want to be able to keep the speed as much as possible around there and not have to spike it too much. If you're smooth and you don't have to spike it too much, you usually can stay with the peloton. So I'm sticking in there, but I did have to use a few spikes there. A lot of chaos going on, and like I said earlier, NLC is controlling this race, controlling the pace. They've got so many guys that they can take the chances that they want and still have guys to help them out later on. So they can throw a whole bunch of flyers out front and destroy the peloton, and still have guys that are conserving a lot of energy in the back there. So that's what they're going to do throughout this race. All right, skipped ahead. We are just under 19,000 meters to go in this race, so still a lot of race left, but there are two guys off the front, I believe, at this moment here. And they have established maybe a few seconds here, but they are establishing a slight breakaway at this point. So you can see them. It's actually three guys. So there are three guys out there. I believe Nashville Local Cycling started one, another guy went, and then a Nashville Local Cycling guy went ahead and got on the back there. So now they are forming a three-man breakaway at this point. So just under 19,000 meters to go, and they have formed this breakaway group. And right now, yeah, they're only maybe 3-4 seconds away, but this group, it's a strong group that has formed out there. You got two Nashville Local Cycling guys and one other racer with them. And then you have the whole bunch of Nashville Local Cycling guys in the peloton here. So not to give away anything, but I bet you can guess what Nashville Local Cycling is going to do throughout this race. And that's one thing that I said at the beginning, that I didn't want this to happen. I didn't want Nashville Local Cycling to just completely terrorize us and let this thing happen here. But it's really tough to be able to, you can say it, but to put it into existence and put it into play in the peloton, it's very tough to execute that way. And you can see you've got guys that are trying to bridge up at this moment, and you can kind of hear in the background, if you heard that, Nashville Local Cycling is going to respond to it each and every time that somebody tries to go and try to bridge here. So any sort of attack or bridge that, not with that team, they are going to respond to, and they are going to shut it down, which looks like they are doing to perfection at the moment. So you still have the three guys off the front right now, and they've been off the front for about a lap and a half or something like that. So they are keeping a small distance. It looks like you can reach out and touch them at some points, but they are keeping that distance well, because the rest of the team is keeping everybody at bay here. So it looks like right about now they've probably got a between 5 to 10 second lead. So they've already gone around the 180-degree turn. We're under 17,000 meters. We still have a bunch of race left, but they are dangling out front. Skipped ahead a little bit more, and you can see off to my right we've got another attack trying to bridge up to those three men that are off the front, about 10 seconds ahead of us. And look who is responding to the attack every single time. So I skipped ahead a little bit. There hasn't been any attacks until now. People were kind of waiting, but a really good dig and attack, and you can see they're right there at the very edge of the screen there, if you could see that. But they are not that far away. They are literally just dangling right there. But every single attack that has gone on and has tried to bridge, they have responded to, and they are not letting it get away. They're not letting them get out there and touch them. So we are still, because there are so many, it's very tough to get the entire peloton to work together to be able to bridge up to them. And that's kind of what's happening. So they're allowing us to, be there, look like we can reach out and touch them, but at the same time, they are not letting the speed get to the point where we can actually get out there and get them. So they are maintaining that 10 to 15 second lead on us this entire time. And it's getting frustrating. I've made my way up towards, I guess, the front of the peloton here, and I'm trying to follow some good wheels. And, at this point in the race, so we're about halfway through. So I feel like I'm getting a little bit antsy, but I know there's a lot of race left at this point. But I don't want those, three guys to get away at this point. So I'm trying to figure out something. I'm trying to figure out a strategy, because, I don't want the race to be over already. I want to be able to compete at the end, for whatever placing or whatever, but don't want those guys to get away. And if you could see that over there in the corner, it looks like there's 5 men. So get a little bit confused at this point. Like, I thought somebody actually bridged up during the race, but it was actually just some guys that were getting lapped, and they joined on to that group and were hanging on. So it looks like there are, I think, 5 or so in that breakaway group, but it's actually just the 3 that got away at that point. So yeah, a little bit confusing, and I'm not sure what the thinking was jumping on to the lead group like that, because when you've been lapped and stuff like that, you could potentially mess up that group and cause them to mess up the race. But luckily that didn't happen or anything like that. But yeah, I just think that if you've been lapped or something like that and you're out of the race completely, you probably shouldn't jump on like that to the breakaway group. So here we go, another attack and another response here, and I believe that's Logan out front. He's a really strong rider, and I wish I had been up there with him, because I really think like me and him working together, because he's strong and I feel like I'm pretty strong and he can help when I get tired. I feel like if we could work together at some point, we could have gotten up to that breakaway group. I know he's strong enough to hold it pretty good a ways, and I'd be able to push pretty hard as well. I believe there was another race that we did as well, where he was trying to attack and I was just out of position, and there was another one with us as well that if we had got our stuff together, we could have definitely messed some things up. But yeah, so he's fallen back here into the peloton, and we have kind of regrouped again here, conserving energy again, and we're getting down to it. We're getting down almost under 12,000 meters here in just a second. Still taking these turns pretty smooth from what I remember, and sometimes I do have to spike it over 1,000, but I think in this race I didn't have to spike it too many times or as much as I have in the past. I believe that during this race a lot of times I kept it pretty smooth, and I kept it under 1,000, so I was able to conserve a little bit of those matches. And speaking of matches, I'm gonna try my hand at this attacking here. So let's see what I do. Get a really good burst. I got a good lead here. I think I caught everybody off guard. Nashville Local Cycling, they're trying to respond. I see them there in the rear view, but I've got a really good lead on them at this point. So this is where if Logan was with me, I think we could have caught up. I think we could have worked together enough to catch up. I had some really good momentum here, but yeah, I mean, I have a lot of power and I can put down the watts, but sustaining them for longer periods of time is tough for me at this point, and that's something that I'm still working on, and I still want to grow and get stronger and get better at. But you can see, I mean, I was really trying to catch up to that group, and I'm only probably I would say 10 seconds or maybe a little bit less at this point, because they just went around the 180-degree turn, and there they are right there. I put in a really good dig, and that's where I needed that second person to be able to help me to keep us going at this point, to keep up that the watts and keep up that power, because I got a really good lead there, but I'm just not able to sustain it long enough to be able to catch up and also get away from the rest of the peloton. So I am in no man's land, basically dangling in the middle of the breakaway group, and then the peloton is behind me, and they are starting to catch up. So I tried my hand at the attack there. I tried to bridge up, but just wasn't able to carry the wattage that I needed for the entire time to be able to catch up, and then obviously getting a little bit tired here and slowing down. So Peloton was able to catch up, and they did a really good job. Of course, they're going to shut down any sort of attack is the best they can, but when you catch them off guard and you've got the power that I do, Sometimes you can get away for a little bit longer. But they were able to catch up after about a lap. And so now I am leading the peloton, which is dumb for me because I don't need people to be drafting off me and using my speed or my power at this point. So I think I looked behind, and I think I'm gonna start tapering off. I don't know why I was waiting this long, but yeah, I should be tapering off here in just a second and letting people go by so that I can conserve some more energy, maybe put out another attack. But we're under 10,000 meters here. The breakaway group is between 10 and 15 seconds, I believe. I'm trying to see where they are. It's kind of hard to see on the video here, but I believe they're around the turn already. So yeah, somewhere around that maybe 10 to 20 second range, something like that. And so here we go, falling back a little bit, trying to conserve the energy. Used a lot of energy on that attack and on that lap that I went around. So now people are getting around me, passing, but I'm letting them do that because I need to conserve the energy, and I need to get back on a wheel so that I can refresh the legs a little bit and refresh the lungs. So you can barely make it out in the background, but that's me talking with another rider here in the back, and I just said, Nashville's been blocking the entire time, which exactly what has happened this entire race. They have been blocking this entire time, and any sort of attack that we have made or tried to make, they have responded to and shut down each time. So I think we are about 5 laps to go at this point. Can't remember if this was the same preem lap or not, but I believe we already had our 6 laps to go preem lap. So we're going in. This was 5 laps to go. You can see they just passed over there, so they've gone around the 180. They've got about a 20-second lead here. Let's look and see what lap we're on at this point. Okay, so this is 5 laps to go. So that was the preem lap. So that was 6 laps to go. So cutting it down. So we're getting under 6,000 meters to go at this point. And yeah, just like I said, Nashville's been blocking this entire time, trying to figure out something that we can do here if we can get organized and maybe get an attack going at this point. So that's kind of what I was talking about with the other rider in the back there. Maybe we can work together to get something going. Maybe we can catch up. I mean, the lead group has literally been gone since just under 19,000 meters. So they took off at that point, and they have been dangling out front between 10 and 20 seconds this entire time, and nobody has been able to catch up to them. The speed has been about the same the entire time. Even when we attack and try to bridge, it's been shut down, and then the speed has been kept right there with those guys dangling out front just ahead. And so it was very frustrating to be able to see that you could almost reach out and touch the guys that were in the lead group there, but we just weren't able to get to them. And so that's why I was in the back trying to organize something with some other riders, because navigating through this many guys on one team is tough, and I've said that a whole bunch throughout this race, but I mean, if you were in this race, that how tough it was to be able to navigate through them and just any sort of attack that you tried to do. It was shut down so quickly, and they had guys that were fresh at any sort of time that it happened, because if you did an attack, they had a couple guys that responded to it, and then they still had a whole bunch of guys back in the peloton. So as soon as it caught back up, if you tried to attack again, they had more fresh guys waiting for you. So and that was the name of the game in this one. But here we go, about 4,500 meters to go. Not looking promising, but can we get another attack? Can we get another bridge to try to get up to those 3 riders that have been off the front for this almost through the entire race here? And I'm just biding my time right now. You can see I'm conserving energy. I'm sitting there in a 200 watt range and, just kind of cruising at this point. I know that I don't want them to get away, but also, I need to conserve my energy just in case. There's still some time. They, like I said, they're only maybe 20-25 seconds at this point ahead, so there's still some time to possibly catch up if we can get something organized enough and get away from the big team here. But yeah, not looking good unless we can get organized here. And let's see what happens here. We got a front attack, and I'm not sure who that is, but we got a front attack here. Probably not the best place to attack just because you're going around these turns right now. And I would say your better point of attack is on the backstretch or after the 180-degree turn, because once you go through these turns, you have to slow down anyway, and people are able to catch up a little bit quicker at those points. So yeah, attacking right before the turns is probably not the greatest idea there. I got a good turn around there. I didn't spike it up quite as much as I have on other laps. And here we go, there's another attack. And yeah, that was my buddy that I was talking to in the back of the peloton, and I was out of position when he did his attack, and I'm trying to catch back up to him here. So I do, and let's see what happens here. Yeah, we got I believe a Nashville Local Cycling guy behind us there. Yeah, and basically dragging the peloton with us at this point. So they were able to respond pretty quickly. We were still moving off the front just a little bit here, and here we go. I couldn't come around at that point for some reason. I think I was waiting till after this turn here. Or maybe not. Oh, maybe it was I looked behind and I saw that everybody was there, and that's why I shut it down, because there was, yeah, we weren't getting away. But that was what we were kind of trying to organize. We were trying to get an attack to go, and obviously it wasn't quite strong enough to be able to get away from everybody, because they were able to respond pretty quickly. And you can see they're all right there behind us. We get a little bit of a gap here on the 180-degree turn. So let me see, what am I doing here? Why am I not going around? I think it's hard for me to remember because this was a couple weeks ago, but I can't remember why I didn't want to go around at that point. I think because they had caught up to us so quickly already, and there was not really a point to try to attack, maybe. But now that I'm able to see in hindsight and be able to see, with the video and everything, I can kind of see some points where I probably should have gone, and we could have possibly gotten away a little bit. But yeah, obviously that's hindsight, and I can only go off of what I can see at the time. So yeah, when I saw that they were basically on my tail already, I didn't think there was a point to keep trying to attack and get away, because they were just going to just follow our wheels and let us take them up there. So here I am stuck at the front again, putting out over 500 watts around that turn for no reason at all, wasting my energy at this point. And I need to yeah, I need a strong wheel to get behind. Here's a Nashville Local Cycling guy. I don't remember seeing him much throughout the race, so he's probably fresh at this point. Probably been sitting back in the back this whole time and you know, chilling. Here we go. This is the last lap here, so not much further to go. We've got yeah, 1,100 meters or so, and we're not going to catch up to those guys that have been dangling the entire time, which sucks. But here we go, going for 4th place. So, you know, the field sprint at this point would be for 4th place. And I knew at this point, I was thinking in my head, I know they're about to go. I know they're about to go. I know they're about to go. And here they go. And I probably should have punched it as well before that, because I know I've got a big motor, and I know that I could have got a little bit of a lead as well as they did right there, but I waited just a half second too long. They got a big jump on us, and you know, I'm not going to be able to catch them at this point. I mean, there's 400 meters. They've got probably a 3 or 4 second lead here. I've been on the front for a little bit too long, and I've burnt a few matches already throughout the race. And yeah, a couple, who's that? Logan goes around me. So, and I just don't have enough at this point in the race to be able to catch up to them. There's no more real big matches or anything like that. I do get over 1,000 watts here, but really that was just kind of hold off the guys that were hanging on in the back there. But finished out 6th overall in the race. And you know, it's an exciting race, but I knew that it was going to be a tall order to be able to beat Nashville Local Cycling. And you can see, and they had a guy go off the front towards the end there, kind of push out just to probably to tire us out a little bit before they had the other 2 guys punch it right there at the end. And yeah, so they completely took it to us this entire race and tired us out. Made sure that we didn't get anywhere on the attacks. And yeah, so they actually, the guy that was with them on the front, so they had 2 Nashville Local Cycling guys in the break and 1 guy from another team. He actually ended up winning, but you know, the 2 Nashville Local Cycling guys got 2nd and 3rd, and then 4th and 5th as well. So they took the podium. I felt, you know, decent about 6th place on this one. I felt like it was a pretty good race, and I did everything I could to try to make it back up to that breakaway, but just couldn't get anything organized the way I wanted it to be able to reach them. And you know, that lap that I took, it was just right there. I felt like they were just right there. I could reach out to them, but I just needed that extra little push and some help from, you know, another rider possibly to be able to reach them, but just didn't get organized well. So anyway, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you know when I post videos. And I'll be posting up another race here soon. I've got another race that's not in the Music City, so I'm going to be posting that one up, and you guys can see how I do in that one as well. But I will see you on the next one. Peace.